All right, good morning, everybody. It is December 2nd. It is feeling every bit of December. Got the coldest air of the season, released since back last winter, and it's going to happen over consecutive nights. So let's get into the weather pattern. When do we get warmer, and is there any rain in the forecast? Let's get to it. All right, let's start, as always, with the national view here. Doing this just before 9 o'clock on a Monday morning. Huge trough over the eastern half of the country. Tremendous snow. Lake effect snow for parts of upstate New York, Michigan, and a swath of snow moving through the middle of the country as well. And we are in the midst of some really, really cold air here for us. A big change from where we were in November. So here we are, winds aloft and at the surface out of the west-northwest, and that's us at the base of this big upper trough. And unlike when we had ridging back in November, we are on the flip side, the really cool air. In fact, here's a look at our temperatures as it stands now, just before 9 o'clock here this morning. We are looking at temperatures of 32 in Memphis as well as Huntsville, 34 in Birmingham, 39 in Montgomery, and into the 40s for folks in the Wiregrass and southwest Alabama. But it was cold everywhere. Look at these lows. Verified lows from this morning, 29 in Memphis and Huntsville. It was 29 in Birmingham, 27 in Starkville, 28 in Macon, Georgia. So the cold air, not exclusive to us here in central Alabama. So here's our weather setup. This is tonight into Tuesday. So you've got this upper level system tracking south. And we can see some snow in the middle of the country, even as far south as Nashville, some flurries in northern Alabama, nothing of note. But this is really just reinforcing this cold air mass. Let's go to our upper level look here. This is later today at noon, and what you're seeing here are height anomalies. So where you see these purples and blues, those are low atmospheric heights. Well, we know cold air takes up less space, less volume in the atmosphere. So you have lower atmospheric heights. Anytime we see lower heights, we know there's a cold air mass beneath there. And where are we? Across the southeast, well, we're not in the coldest air, but we are certainly amongst some of the colder air in place due to this big trough. So let's move this ahead. Go to Tuesday, another good push of cold air. Again, that upper level system is going to dive to the south, reinforcing the cold air. This is Tuesday night, the coldest air still over parts of New England, some weak ridging over Texas and the southern plains. As we head into Wednesday and then Thursday, we still are looking at strong troughing. We're kind of at the edge, the periphery, if you will. We're a bit warmer, it looks like, on Thursdays. We get beneath or just to the south of that, the base of that trough. And then as we head into Friday, we flatten out a little bit, meaning we don't necessarily see those digging coldest upper air values, but I still think we are going to be unseasonably cool through the end of the week. So again, troughing across the eastern part of the country means cold air for us. What about rain? Here's the setup on Wednesday. A surface high over the Big Bend area. Well, that's going to help to sling in a little bit of moisture. A very weak disturbance here is going to try to make its way into the southeast, parts of Mississippi, Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle. So this is Wednesday afternoon. Let's go to Wednesday night into Thursday, our setup. So that high shifts a little bit further to the south over the Florida Peninsula. Our moisture feed's still going to be there, but we've got another front associated with that upper level system. And that may very well redirect this rain away from us here and keep the rain mainly coastal. We still have the chance for some showers, but I do think a lot of us are going to end up dry with this weak system moving through. So let's go to our future view. This is looking at our Barron 15 kilometer. This is a middle range model as far as timing. Let's start this Wednesday at noon. And we'll see an increase in clouds as we go throughout the day. And that's really all across the southeast. It's what we call isotropic lift. Moisture levels rise in the upper levels first. That'll bring in some high clouds and lower clouds as well. So we start with at least a sunny or partly cloudy sky on Wednesday, probably turning more cloudy throughout the day. But there's just not a whole lot to this system. You can see that rain trying to get together there back to the west. And then you've got this cold front moving through. And you think cold front, all right, we're going to have some rain along it. Well, this is more of a dry frontal passage. There's not a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. So if this little feature can't get to us before the front does, we may not have any rain here in central Alabama. There's probably a better bet of it over in Mississippi, perhaps in southernmost Alabama from, say, Greenville down to Mobile, Selma down to maybe Andalusia, but even there it looks like the rain's going to be focused a little further west. But this is going to bring in another shot of cold air. See that northerly flow, and cold air will be around with us. So this afternoon, how about this? Highs in Huntsville, the Shoals, mid-40s, 50 at Birmingham, 54 in Tuscaloosa, upper 50s in the Wiregrass, and near 60 down in Mobile. Overnight tonight to start out the day on Tuesday. So there's kind of a tale of two things happening here. It's cold everywhere, but you get along and north of I-20. We're going to have lows in the mid-20s, but then a wind chill factor that's going to make it feel like, between 18 and 22. So, we're going to enjoy that out the door on Tuesday. Very chilly. Again, it won't feel like that the entire time, but when that wind picks up, going to be chilly indeed. Tuesday's forecast, with that cold air in place, man. I mean, we're sunny from start to finish, sunrise to sundown, and we'll be 44 at Birmingham, 42 in Gadsden. A bit warmer in the southern half of the state, 50s from Dothan to Monroeville, and upper 50s down in southwest Alabama in Mobile, Baldwin, and Escambia counties. But again, still chilly considering averages for this time of year. Wednesday morning, more of the same, another widespread freeze for most of the state. Areas to the south, perhaps a little bit above the freezing mark, but we're still cold. And then we look at our highs on Wednesday. We're starting that warming trend. That's thanks to that southwesterly flow, as the high pressure will be situated to our south and east, and that will bring in relatively warmer and there'll be more moisture with this air mass, but not a lot. Again, chance for a few showers late as we saw there, but not much. And the ensembles have backed off a little bit on our rainfall over the next 7 days. So initially calling for a little bit higher totals, but again, most of this is going to come down the road. So a lot of uncertainty about the weekend. I think the Alabama weekend has the potential to be wet. There's just not a good model consensus at this point. We know a system's going to sweep through here. The timing is just a little wishy-washy. I would say Saturday, Sunday onward, we're going to see two different systems move through here with good rain chances, and that could yield some decent rain totals for central Alabama. We still need it in a deficit on the year and all of the state in some level of drought. So let's wrap this up by looking at our temperature outlook here next 6 to 10 days. This would take us into the weekend and very early next week. Still that troughing over the eastern half of the country, below average temperatures for New England, the mid-Atlantic, and just below for us here in the southeast. We extend this out to 8 to 14 days, and we're closer to normal as that trough lifts just a bit. And that should spell at least the end of the 20s and the really cold air for the state of Alabama. Let's look at your morning weather brief. Hope everybody has a wonderful day.